Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here today, and today, guys, we are going to be doing our top 5 favorite horror movies of the year 2006. I kind of put this series on a hiatus, unintentionally, but we're coming back, and what a year to dive back in, because 2006 is absolutely stacked. There's going to be a lot of movies in here that could potentially be your guys' number one, and that's going to be the beauty of this year, because there's a lot of just really cool horror movies. What I'm going to do different this time is, instead of just making a picture of the poster pop up right here, I'm going to actually show you the actual home video piece that I have, in case you guys want to know where to get these movies, in case any of you haven't seen any of these, or would like to rewatch these movies that don't own them. So other than that, everything's the same. We're going to do top 5 of the year, so let's get started. Number 5 for me in 2006 is going to be Saw 3. Now, what I have here is the Saw Blu-ray Collection Edition that you can get. It has every film, including Jigsaw, and Saw 3 is arguably one of my favorites, particularly for the brain surgery scene. What's really cool about Saw was the CGI was beginning to really run rampant around this time. There's a lot of movies that just relied heavily on it, whether it be horror movies or just action movies and Disney kids movies. Everything was CGI, but what was really nice about Saw was that brain surgery was 100% prosthetic makeup effects, and it looks so incredibly disgusting. And that's what we love about Saw. And, you know, the storyline in Saw, I really like it, because this is where the story really continues on a straight path. When we get to 4, 5, and 6, they kind of take place all around the same time. Even so much with 3, but you don't know that yet in 3. So the story is really nice in Saw 3. It's interesting about the dad wanting to get revenge and just losing his mind over the loss of his son. That's not something I could comment on, but I could imagine that would be extremely harrowing to deal with. Coming in at number 4 is one of the lost Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Now, what I really love about Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning is, number 1, it was my first theater experience with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't really remember how I got into that movie, because I was not 18 yet, but I was there, and I absolutely loved this movie. It scared the crap out of me. I can remember feeling so much tension in the scenes at this time in my life. I was either, 15, 14, or something around there, and I just remember being mortified at this movie. I was a casual horror fan at this point. I wasn't hardcore like I am now, and seeing a movie like this really traumatized me. But what's really nice is, I'm not interested in seeing a young Leatherface. I'm just not. This movie really doesn't do that, which is suspicious almost because of the name of the movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, but you quickly get into an adult Leatherface, because adult Leatherface to me is the best Leatherface. They obviously did a Leatherface prequel a couple years ago, and I was not a big fan of that. My biggest issue was it doesn't feel like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, but maybe we'll talk about that more sometime. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, I almost rival this to the 2003 remake as far as quality. I do think the 2003 remake is just a smidge bit better, but The Beginning is excellent. Do not skip this one, guys. This is a DVD release. You can probably find this on Amazon for maybe $12 or $13 on Blu-ray. I highly recommend getting it on Blu-ray. I need to get it myself, but this is special to me because I bought this from Blockbuster when they were going out of business. Coming in at number 3, guys, is The Rise of Leslie Vernon: Behind the Mask. Now, I just picked up this Blu-ray not too long ago. You guys know this, and I had seen the movie, but I don't really remember too much from the movie. So upon rewatch, I was like, what is going on here? It almost seems a little bit pretentious when you're watching this movie. Now, fast forward a little bit, guys, till I put this movie down if you don't want spoilers. You almost think this movie is just like really satirical and silly almost, because it's like they're interviewing a serial killer and he's just telling them everything he's gonna do. But what you really learn at the end was he was playing mind games with them the whole time. Then the movie clicks. The final act of the film is awesome because it looks so classic horror out in the night woods. You can almost see fog and smoke coming across Leslie as he's on screen. Looks fantastic. The movie is actually kind of funny, to be honest with you. I think it is purposely supposed to be a little bit funny, but the gentleman who plays Leslie Vernon in this is really funny. He's good. The acting's great. The story's cool. You get really cool stuff from Robert Englund in this, kind of portraying a Dr. Loomis type character. Still has the Robert Englund vibe to it. It wasn't like he was just trying to rip off Dr. Loomis. It was just inspired. This movie's really fun, and 2006 was a stacked year, so I think that's why this movie maybe not have gotten the huge praise and reception that it did. Matter of fact, I never really heard about this movie till maybe 2013 when I just found a DVD of it at a used DVD store and watched it. But definitely give Behind the Mask its due. It's really unique and really one of a kind. There is not many movies like Behind the Mask, and it's awesome. 10 out of 10. Okay, guys, here we go. Coming in at number 2 for me is 2006's The Hills Have Eyes. Now, we just did a Blu-ray unboxing of The Hills Have Eyes Part 2 from Arrow Video, and you guys heard me say I love The Hills Have Eyes. I'm not going to say which one I prefer more, the original of this, because we will be doing an original versus remake on The Hills Have Eyes soon, but I will say this movie is fantastic. It does everything just right. It just kind of sets the mood in today's era. It changes the characters up a little bit to match that time, but the horror is the #1 focus of this. It's almost like The Wrong Turn wishes it could be as maniacal and vicious as The Hills Have Eyes. This movie did it to the 10th degree. When you see that end sequence where the husband has to fight that big mongoloid-looking guy in the house that looks a lot like Part 3 Jason Voorhees, deleted scene Jason Voorhees, if you know what I mean. That sequence is insane. The special makeup effects for all these people are just absolutely hideous, and it's remarkable. This movie is just really interesting and done well. It takes risks where it needs to, changes characters the way it should be for today's era, but it stays true to the horror of The Hills Have Eyes, and I think that's why this movie is as successful as it is. This movie is an 11 out of 10 for me. I love the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. This is a Blu-ray that came in the double pack, but you can easily find this, guys, at FYE or Amazon for 10 or 11 bucks. I'm pretty sure it's really cheap. A must-watch. Coming in at #1 for me in 2006, the way you do a CGI horror movie, Silent Hill. Now, Silent Hill for me is one of the most enjoyable 2000s horror movies I can think of. Based off of a video game, but I was never a really big avid gamer. I usually play classic stuff. The room right next to me is filled with Sega Genesises and Sega Saturns and games like that. So I always played that, but I never jumped into classic modern gaming, especially around the 2006 era. So when this video game comes out and they make a movie off of it, it was news to me. I just saw it as a movie, and Silent Hill scared me to no end. This movie is a visual, breathtaking experience. The CGI is there, and it's obvious that a lot of this stuff is CGI, but it's so outer-worldly. It's almost like a dream sequence state of being in this movie when that big siren goes off and then the world turns dark. The most haunting thing. If you haven't seen Silent Hill and you go to watch this, that big siren that goes off, imagine if that went off in real life, the horror that would go through your heart. Silent Hill is one of the most enjoyable horror movies I can think of. It's really done well, the story is extremely interesting, but the horror is insanely imaginative. I can't even begin to describe. Look at the cover of this. You guys have to trust me on this. If you haven't seen Silent Hill, this is the #1 recommended movie I need to give you guys from this. This is the Scream Factory Blu-ray. There is a standalone Blu-ray you can get that's a little bit cheaper, or you can get the DVD of it on Amazon. I do recommend the Scream Factory Blu-ray as the picture quality is fantastic. It has a little bit of a grainy look, but it really matches the film. I promise you guys that. So check out Silent Hill. It is my favorite movie of the year. A honorable mention for one movie, but to be honest with you, the whole roster of the year could be an honorable mention. And there's a lot of movies in 2006 that I haven't seen that clearly look to me like they could have been the possibilities of hidden gems, which I'm hoping you guys will kind of come in and help me with that. But my honorable mention is a movie called Halloween Night. Now, Halloween Night, I'll keep it very spoiler-free. It's a really fun horror movie about a maniacal man. If you can get your hands on a physical copy, it's the unrated director's cut. I do know that this movie was on Tubi as of a couple days ago, so you can see that on Tubi as well. Highly recommend it. Costs you nothing. All you have to do is see a couple commercials within the movie, maybe 2 or 3 times. It's really not bad. So there it is, guys. 2006. What a stacked year. There's so many other good movies we could have talked about. Hatchet, Slither, the list goes on and on. Black Christmas. Seeing your guys' list is the most important. I'm hoping to see movies that I didn't even remotely mention that I could check out, because as I said, there could be definitely some hidden gems from 2006 that I have not even seen yet. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please give this video a like if you enjoy it, and drop your comment below. Let me know your list so I can watch these movies that you guys have seen that I haven't. You can also check out the description for the Teespring and the Patreon and all that great stuff. Thank you guys for watching. This is Christian Hanna Horror.